All right, so we're recording. Hey, everybody, I'm Jason Foreman. I'm a local real estate agent in Los Angeles with Compass, and I'm super excited to be here with my Instagram buddy, Danny. Hey, Danny,
You. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent, man. So we went to I guess you'd say the coaching event, the Monday Madness, and I was super stoked because you invited everybody on the story, and I was feeling under the weather, but I said, I'm not going to miss out on this. And I was really excited because I thought you were hosting it. But then even bigger was what's his name? Coach Pipes?
Bill Pipe.
Michael Pipes?
Bill Pipes.
Oh man. Yeah. And that was very powerful.
Number,
Especially
number one real estate trainer in the world, my boy, Bill.
really
Oh yeah. He's like notorious. So he was Tom Ferry's right-hand man, and now he's separated out and he's gone on to do his own thing. But he's just all about tactical, in the trenches type training. That's why I love him.
he was linked up with Tom Ferry.
Yeah, he
Wow.
was like his right-hand guy for I don't know, maybe like a decade or something. Crazy.
But it was relevant too. He was talking about what was going on in the market right now and how it scares some people, and things may slow down right now for buyers, sellers, and real estate agents. But also, what can we do right now? I'm sick of people recently saying, "Oh, I don't have what I want. I don't have as many listings as I want, or I'm not moving as much this and that." Oh, the market. Okay, well, what are you going to do for tomorrow? Because when the market's better tomorrow, you're not going to magically have a bunch of buyers and listings, right? You got to start calling people who, right? Because the conversation that I'm hearing is like, oh, the market's slowing down. I might buy when it continues to drop, or I might buy or I might sell when the market gets better. So I know I have like a lot of things in place, a lot of conversations like that, right? You need to have that times 10,000 to have the success that you want, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
Awesome.
have an agent on my team who sold 3 homes in the last 3 weeks, and the reality is like number one, he's a brand new agent. He's a year into the business,
Wow.
and he's practiced his craft. He's shown up, but more importantly, it's about at bats right now. Like you got to have more at bats. It's very simple math, guys. If
Right,
trans
right.
if transaction volume goes down 40%, guess what? Your activities have to increase by 40%, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you they have to at least double. Because as long as you're doubling your activities, you're going to find the results equal to the market, right? So there's just no rocket science to this stuff. I mean, it's just generalities. And we've had it so easy the last 5 years, and specifically the last two in the real
Yeah.
estate industry. People have just been throwing deals at us, right? So our lead generation activities have plummeted. I'm talking to top producers around the country all the time. And I'm like, guys, how many contacts are you hitting a week? A guy who sold 90 homes, right, was saying, I only hit 15 or 20 contacts a week.
The
And
whole
that
week.
just shows you how frothy the market was for real estate agents. And now we're going to have to increase those numbers to 100 a week, right? Like if we all just did a baseline of 100 a week plus follow-up calls, no one would be worrying about business or money.
Wow. Right? Because people still have life situations where whether the market's good or not, they need to job transfer. Something in the family trust requires somebody passed away and they have 6 months to
Yeah.
do such and such, sell the home. All these things happen. Now, whether you get the most profit from it, you and the sellers are at the highest benefit, it's the height of the market. It may not be the very most maximal time, but life situations, people still need to do it, buy and sell
Yeah,
homes.
we deal with it all the time.
Yeah.
Deal with it all the time. I mean, like I said, it's just numbers. So if there's 40% less transactions, guess what? There's still 60% transactions out there, which means people are still buying or selling homes. Which really interesting. They just dropped a stat that there are going to be less transactions in 2023 than there were in 2008. That's what's predicted.
And that makes sense, right? Because people are hearing that it's not the best time to sell your home. Now it's going to depend on life situations, people who need to,
Mm-hmm.
or people who are really going to just move location because they don't like where they're living or a different
Yeah.
job, some sort of. But that's what was important the whole time,
Yeah.
anyways, right? Was their life
Yeah.
situation, not just how much is their house worth and how much will it sell
Totally.
for. Huh. So, so Danny, most of the people that you help, or or just the most fruitful source for agents in general, would you say are like people with that are already within their sphere, or hunting down expireds or door knocking or cold calling a farm. What do you think? I mean, everything is great, meeting people, staying in contact, but what do you think is like really fruitful if you had to narrow it down to one or two things
Let's
you're
just
seeing
talk about the
happen?
next 180 days. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
180 to 360 days, 360 days. For me, it's going to be, of course, your sphere of influence, your past clients, if you have those. Next
Okay.
in line for me is going to be canceled and expired listings, because I just believe there's going to be more of those than we've seen. There already are more of those than we've seen
Yeah.
in the past decade, right? So having a system and a process towards canceled and expireds is going to be critical.
Okay.
Um, the next best thing is going to be open houses. I think that's the next immediate piece of business you can find. And then everything else kind of trickles behind that. I mean, I like online leads right now because it's basically buyers saying, hey, I'm still looking, I'm still shopping. So we're still running heavy PPC ads right now and converting those at a high level. And then any other pillar that you want to kind of dive into to diversify your fourth, fifth, sixth legs of lead gen. But those are the ones I'd be leaning on hardcore: your sphere, your past clients, canceled and expired, open houses.
That's so cool because maybe the order, the priorities a little different, but markets up, markets slowing down. It's the same thing, right? Basically, it's what you'd be telling me 2 years ago or a year ago when we were in the heat of it,
Well, what's
right?
amazing is I have a lot of new agents on my team, and
Uh-huh.
some of them are really new, like within the last couple months. They don't know any different. This
Yeah,
is the market they know. And so if you could just treat your business like that, if you just could wipe away your expectations of the past and just treat the market as it is and follow your numbers and track your numbers, like, this business is
yeah,
so simple, guys. It's not easy, but it's so simple.
right. Man, I know this may sound funny, but sometimes I actually get a bit stressed out because I track every day. But I don't track every single attempt. I tried to do that. I had one counter for every single door knock or call, and then I had another counter for every contact. That was actually stressing me out. I just keep it to amount of contacts. Do you have any way of simplifying tracking? Because maybe somebody who's newer or wasn't trained doesn't see the value in it, but man, you really look back and see, oh, I met a lot of people
It's critical
doing
because if you
this.
see that you've hit your contact amount, like if I was your coach and I said, hey, you need to hit X amount of contacts this week, you hit those contacts and you don't have any appointments, we clearly know it's a skills problem. So now we have to work on the skills, not the effort. But that's a whole nother.
Right.
Just in terms of tracking, couple things you could use. I have multiple 100-point daily sheets that I've ripped off and duplicated from other people. It's basically
Little
a
check
sheet,
sheet.
a little check sheet that says, one of them is literally just for contacts and appointments and things of that nature. The other one has like all kinds of fun stuff on it. Like, did you meditate today? Did you post on social media? Did you do a past client follow-up? Did you set an appointment? Did you hold a buyer consultation? Like, it tracks all of the things that you should be doing in the business. And it's called the 100-point daily sheet, which basically gamifies the day. So can you hit your 100 points every day? But man, guys, you could do it many ways. I mean, I like the idea of the tracking sheet. If not, if you have a goal of 20 contacts, put 20 beads in your left pocket and then move those beads to the right after every single contact, and don't stop until all the beads are out of your left pocket.
Oh, so simple.
So simple.
Yeah.
Make sure you do your shit, and then at the end of the day, you hit 20 contacts.
But doing it is hard, right? You're like, oh, heck yeah, like I'm gonna get my 30, 40 contacts. And then you're like, and then you start hitting the doors or calling people and you go, how many was that? Like 20? You're like, oh
3,
man, like I'm exhausted.
like 4.
Those are people. You start to see how athletic this is. And then it really, yeah, but it's so fulfilling, right? When you look at and you have like three of those left and you're like a little sweaty, a little tired, you're like, man, I know. And right, sometimes it takes like 2 hours to get, or three, or even four to get those full contacts. Sometimes it's like an hour and a half, and you're like almost completely there. Isn't that strange? Like, you get like 20 contacts, like an hour and a half, or sometimes take like 3 hours to hardly get
Yeah, it just
15.
depends on your efficiencies, right? Like, if you're calling, are you using a dialer? If you're door knocking, like, what type of neighborhood are you door knocking? Like in a condo complex, you could bang out, 60 doors an hour. In a large single family neighborhood, you're probably going to do 20, 25, right? And so then maybe you have a long conversation with an elderly person, right, for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So like there's just all kinds of different efficiencies. Open houses, right? You could have an open houses with 50 people through, you can open house with 10 people through, 5 people through. So it all just depends on the lead. That's why there's so many different efficiencies in this business that most people just take years to figure out.
Hmm.
And being efficient with your time is everything. Being effective and efficient. Yeah.
Now I get a little bit of anxiety. What I really, my bread and butter is like farming, like hit this neighborhood and just hit every single door. And within 3 weeks, map it out. One day is like a 2 or 3 hour session, make a U-turn. And then I know I'm done with whatever Smith Street. Next, I'm gonna hit, Janelle Street or whatever it is. I get a little bit anxious when I hit expireds because driving all over town, mapping it out. Do you have any general advice on how to simplify that? Because it's so funny. Like, dude, I don't get nervous maybe in the moment, but hitting an expired and doing it, I just like shove myself out the door, do it. But it's like drive to this particular neighborhood, this address, hit 10 doors before, hit the expired, da da da. And then like, oh shoot, I only got like 3 contacts after an hour and 15. If I was farming it, I would have had like 15 or 20 contacts. You know what I'm saying? And all these thoughts start clouding it up. I don't know, but I know that
I don't
like
drive. I've never driven canceled and expireds. So in my best year,
oh,
I made 270 grand GCI off calling canceled and expireds in my best year. That was like 4 years ago. When I
just
was
calling,
just
just
calling.
calling. Because then
Never
you don't have to navigate. Yeah.
call, set the appointment, go get the appointment, qualify it. You got to qualify these. Make sure you're qualified on price, commission, expectations, things of that nature. But then once you get there, you're on a listing appointment, right? If you're
Right.
good, you should be setting minimum one appointment per 20 contacts with canceled and expireds. Uh,
Okay.
and then right now, the game with canceled and expired should be um, setting yourself up for follow-up, right? Because it's November. Most people aren't going to want to list in the next month. So setting yourself up as the realtor of choice over the next 90 days until they actually do choose an agent is really the game right now. Like if I were selling homes right now, I would be crushing canceled and expireds, and then I'd be putting them on a fierce, awesome follow-up plan. So becoming the realtor of choice in the next 90 days. So just cementing yourself in their head as like the ultimate professional, the most credible, the nicest, the kindest, all of those things over the next 90 days. I mean, you could probably do this, in the next 21 days, you could probably tee up 100 canceled and expired nurtures and then put them all in the same system, shoot all custom videos and start cementing yourself in their head. And you could probably cover your entire 2023 production just with that one hack.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you see it, right? All the cancels and expires just piling up. In my area, you'd maybe find one every 3 months, and they would just re-sign, and they would only, right? And when things were really hot, they would decrease their price by like less than 5%, and they would sell it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But now they're just piling up, just all over the place. I see it as like a little treasure chest, little glowy little gems, right? And some people still have that unrealistic price. Like, I guess that's a form of qualifying. Like, they're still super unrealistic after the market hit them in the
Oh, I never
face for
finished
like
my
6
thought
months.
earlier. I think you paused because we weren't recording. Diana Kokoska, I think the stat is that she went on 178 listing consultations and took 176 in 1 year.
Whoa.
And the reason why she was able to
It's
take
almost 100%.
the reason why she was able to take so many high conversion rates because she was so good at qualifying. She knew that
Uh,
if she showed up, they were signing with her, and they were
yeah,
always prepared to do so. Right? Hey, if I show up today and everything sounds good, are you willing to sign a listing agreement today? No.
right.
Okay. Well, what's stopping you? Oh, okay. Well, I'll check in with you when you're ready to have me over to sign. Right? Like not going over there if they're unrealistic on price, timeline, commission, signing, whatever the deal is. And that's how you crush your conversion rate is qualifying up front. Hey, what are the 3 most important things to you about a real estate agent?
Right.
X, Y, and Z. Perfect. Then you tailor your entire presentation around their three most important things.
Oh man, that's super targeted. Yeah, I kind of do something like that. I try to fish out an objection and I focus on the one or two big objections, commission. I'm talking to another agent and I try to, and that helps me envision what the biggest challenge will be probably. But that's wow. Wow. Very cool. Okay. That kind of blew my mind for a second. But yeah, that kind of goes back to like that term happy ears, right? Like a lot of agents like, oh, heck yeah, I got a listing appointment and I'm gonna get it. Is their price realistic? Are they going with other agents? What's their timeline? All three of them might be completely out of whack, right? So before you even go over there, you want to find out, is their brother a realtor? Because they might like you, they have this conversation with you, but they're definitely going with their brother or whatever
Well, they may
the
be brain
situation is.
stealing, right? They may invite me,
Oh,
they may invite me over
ooh, that
because I sell 100 homes a year.
second opinion on the
And
price.
then they're like, oh, what would you list it at? What would you do with the home? What would you do this? And then they go and list with Redfin. That's happened to me before. It's fucked
Ooh,
up.
ouch. Yeah.
And they've done everything that I told them to do, like all the way down to the exact list price, like identical. So
Yeah.
you guys got to
And
be cautious of that.
that really hurts. Yeah, we definitely don't work for free, man. Oh,